Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and stories from around the world. We're starting off with a significant development in the Middle East, where a U.S. congressman has shared a disturbing account of his recent trip to the West Bank. Democratic Representative Ro Khanna from California was detained by Israeli settlers while visiting a Palestinian village, an experience he described as a first-hand look at the harsh realities faced by Palestinians living under occupation. According to reports, Khanna's delegation was surrounded by settlers carrying U.S.-made M4 rifles who blocked their van and called the Israeli Defense Forces. The congressman expressed his concern over the incident, stating that the IDF seemed to be on the side of the settlers, rather than respecting the presence of American citizens, including a member of Congress. Khanna's account highlights the complex and often contentious issues surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The West Bank has experienced repeated attacks by Israeli settlers, and the area has been subject to restrictions that have prevented it from developing a self-sustaining economy. It's essential to note that the Israeli government has faced criticism over its handling of the situation in the West Bank, with many arguing that the settlements are illegal under international law. The United Nations has condemned the violence and actions of settlers in the territory, and there have been calls for greater accountability and respect for human rights. As we continue to follow this story, it's crucial to consider multiple perspectives and strive for a balanced understanding of the complex issues at play. Representative Khanna's experience serves as a reminder of the need for diplomacy, empathy, and a commitment to finding peaceful solutions to conflicts around the world. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into the complex world of international diplomacy, where alliances are being forged and tested in the Indo-Pacific region. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been on a diplomatic tour, meeting with leaders from Australia, Japan, and Indonesia, among others. These meetings have resulted in a series of agreements aimed at deepening cooperation on defense, energy security, and critical minerals. One of the key takeaways from these talks is the growing concern about China's increasing military presence in the region. Modi's discussions with Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese touched on China's recent missile launch, which has raised eyebrows among regional leaders. Despite this, India is still seeking to improve ties with Beijing, highlighting the delicate balance that countries in the region must strike in their relationships with major powers. The agreements reached between India and its Indo-Pacific partners also underscored the trend towards mini-lattice works or multilateral arrangements between small groups of countries. This approach allows nations to pool resources and reduce vulnerabilities in areas like semiconductors, maritime security, and defense. New Zealand, for example, has announced plans to join a defense pact with Australia and Fiji, dubbed the Ocean of Peace. The rise of China as a major power has led to a new landscape where countries are responding by forming alliances and cooperating on key issues. India's pitch as a dependable partner, built on mutual trust, is an attempt to capitalize on this trend and reduce strategic vulnerabilities. The implications of these developments are far-reaching, with potential consequences for global trade, security, and the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific region. As we continue to watch this story unfold, one thing is clear: the intricate web of alliances and rivalries in the region will remain a major focus of international attention in the days ahead. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a story that's got everyone talking. The Trump administration has subpoenaed several New York Times journalists over their reporting on alleged security concerns involving President Donald Trump's new Air Force One plane. According to the Times, federal agents delivered subpoenas to the reporters' homes, demanding they appear before a federal grand jury investigating a potential crime. The story began when the Times reported that the Qatari-gifted plane being used by Trump was not secure enough, and the Secret Service had urged him to switch planes on his way home from a NATO summit in Turkey. The newspaper cited unnamed sources, which has raised questions about the leak of classified information. While speaking to media about classified information is a crime, the U.S. Constitution protects the freedom of the press to report information in the public interest. The incident has sparked debate about the balance between national security and press freedom. It's worth noting that other outlets have published similar reports, including CBS News, which cited a former U.S. government official saying there wasn't enough time or money to update the plane with the required security features. President Trump has brushed off concerns about the plane, saying he faces threats all the time. As we close out this story, it's clear that the issue raises important questions about the role of the press in holding those in power accountable, while also respecting national security concerns. We'll continue to follow this story and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.